To learn the good, the bad, and the reality of the nomadic lifestyle, click the subscribe button so you don't miss anything. Click the bell notification. We got quite a bit of snow here in Missouri last 3 days. It's 34 degrees and it just finished up snowing just a few minutes ago. So I thought I'd bring you out here and let you see the snow, and I'll walk around in it. So as I've said in many videos now, Carolyn and I have decided that we're going to quit the nomadic lifestyle and we're going to do some off-grid living in a tiny house, probably 24 by 24. We recently bought a piece of property and we're going to probably go down there as soon as it warms up enough that we can actually start working on the property. Right now we're here at my mother's. I would say hopefully in the next 2 to 4 weeks, we'll be able to go down there. First thing we're going to do is put in the well, which I've made a couple of videos now about the well pump and the well. And I hope I've alleviated everybody's concerns about the well. And then we're going to come back up here once the well is done. And I'm going to build a base for my camper. The camper does not have a floor. The truck of the bed is the floor of our camper. So I need to build a floor, and then we're going to take the camper and set it right on top of the base. And that'll be our home for a while until we can build a tiny house. So while we're here building the base, I'm going to order some solar panels, and then they'll arrive here because the property doesn't have an address yet. So we're going to have to get that established when we get down there. Then we'll take the camper down to the property, offload it. Then we'll start cleaning up the property. It has a mobile home on it that is falling apart. And that's where we intend to build our tiny house. And we're going to do it over the next couple of years is what we're going to do. First of all, I don't want to have to get a loan to build a little tiny house. And I don't want to spend all our savings in case something goes wrong right up front. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build it a little bit at a time over the next couple of years. My plan is to spend about $500 a month on materials. So I think the first stage will obviously, build the floor. And I don't know how much that costs, but let's say the floor costs $500. And then the next stage would be build a wall or 2 walls. Now there's this transition period from the camper to the tiny house. And right now, that's what I'm focused on, is how are we going to live in the camper temporarily until we're fully established into the tiny house without spending a lot of money trying to get the darn camper set up. What Carolyn and I decided to do was we're going to just take $2,500 out of our savings. Long story how we came up with that, and it's not really that important. So we're going to take $2,500 and we're going to start getting ourselves established. Well, of course, part of that $2,500 was the well, and then the solar panels and the camper base. We got to build a composting bin. I think I've talked about everything pretty thoroughly, except for electric. My original plan, I made a video a while back, that I wanted to try to do hydroelectric. Well, this property doesn't have a stream that is a continuous all the time stream. And I really just kind of gave up on the idea because there just wasn't that many properties out there that had a year-round stream. So hydropower, although would have been perfect for our needs, because hydropower is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just never stops. Whereas solar panels have, in my opinion, a lot of disadvantages. And I know every time I talk about the disadvantages of solar panels, I get a lot of people who unsubscribe. They get very angry. And I know the commenters are going to be screaming at me. So I ask that you don't. Sometimes I feel like sometimes solar panels may be people's religion, and I just don't know about it. There's a few things you can't talk about on YouTube, apparently, is, nomadic children, nomadic pets, and solar panels. But yes, we are going to get solar panels. And we're also going to have our generator that we already own. We already own a generator because of our nomadic lifestyle. We didn't have solar panels in our nomadic lifestyle, although a lot of people objected to it. I just liked having a generator. It was easy power, lots of power. Didn't have to worry about the sun and cloudy days and snowy days and rainy days. And so this transition period is what I'm trying to work out when it comes to solar. Temporarily, I am going to run the well pump, which is a 110 volt well pump, off the generator. This is temporary. I may only do it for 6 months. I may only do it for a month. I may only do it for a week. But that is the initial plan. Just get us some water with a generator. And then eventually, I'll switch that over to solar panels. What I'm gonna do initially is I'm gonna buy 300 watts of solar panels. First of all, I've had solar panels in my past. I know a lot about solar panels. I was doing solar before solar became cool. And I just wasn't that impressed with them. And I had hoped that I didn't have to do them again in my future, but it appears that's what I'm gonna do. Of course, nowadays, I'm a little bit more financially secure than I was back then, so I'll be able to buy plenty of solar panels. And secondly, they're not near as expensive as they used to be. I found solar panels, I don't remember the name, I'll put them on the screen right here, that are fairly inexpensive, and I did a lot of reviews on it. Now, there is this YouTuber, a young guy, who used to be a Nomad, and now has dedicated his channel to electrical stuff, lithium battery, solar panels, you know, he must be some sort of electrical engineer. I mean, he is really smart when it comes to electric. And so I've been watching his reviews on different solar panels. Before I started watching him, I picked out a solar panel. And he initially said, yeah, you know, that solar panel is really good. But he says there's another solar panel just like it, the one that's on the screen here, probably manufactured by Renogy. So Renogy was the very first solar panel that I looked at. He agreed that that's a great solar panel, but Renogy must be producing this other solar panel and just putting a different name on it because they're identical. Well, this solar panel's $82 a panel for 100 watts. So once you get the wiring and the charge controller, so you're up to $100 per panel. So that's $1 a watt. Very reasonable. So we're gonna do 3 panels to start with. And then we're gonna figure out how well the panels are keeping up. Can it run the refrigerator? Which I know it will. I mean, I already know some of the math. But on cloudy days, is it gonna produce enough power to go beyond what we need? Because there's other things I wanna power as we move along. The well being one. I wanna have an air conditioner this summer. Now, initially, again, I might have to run the air conditioner off the generator until I figure out what my power needs are. But the nice thing about these cheap solar panels that I didn't have in my past is if I find out that I need more, I can just take another $100 and go and get another one. They're fairly reasonable. And so I may have 10 or 15 solar panels by the time it's all said and done, but I'm just gonna start out with 3. And my goal is to be completely off grid by the time the tiny house is built. So all I really got to do is just move the inverter into the house. Then the second thing is batteries. And I am telling you, I understand what everybody means by lithium batteries. I get it, they're just a better battery. The brand that everybody wants you to get is almost $900 a battery. And in order to do anything, you would need 2, 3, 4 batteries. I mean, for the type of power that I'm really gonna need, that is a lot of electric. So initially, and I know the commenters are gonna be screaming at me, so I ask that you don't. Initially, I'm gonna do what I've always done. I'm gonna use lead acid batteries. The lead acid battery that I have in my camper right now that I've done my entire Nomadic lifestyle has been in this camper for 2 years. So I built the camper 2 years ago. The lead acid battery has been used every day for 2 years. If you properly maintain them, when the voltage starts to drop, you can see the voltage drop over time. One day it'll charge up to 13.5 amps. And then eventually when you shut off the charger, you'll see 13.2 amps. And then it'll drop down to 13 amps. And then you see this, so you're charging, you unplug the charger and it drops down, you'll immediately know, oh, I need to do a trickle charge, or I need to rejuvenate the battery, which these new battery chargers have rejuvenators. And so you do that and it cleans the cells. And so you extend the life quite a bit on these batteries. So they're $80 a piece. And if I need 10 batteries, I know I don't need that many. I can buy 10 batteries for the price of one lithium phosphate battery. That's my plans for electric. Thanks for watching. Click like if you like video, and happy travels.